Day 10, RFS, Fluid Links Advent Calendar. Annette Wierstra, Scriptorium Girl, friend of ours, asks, which companion, classic or new, would make a good doctor? Companion as the doctor. Romana's pretty easy, right?
Ace was kind of being groomed to be a Time Lord, so I suppose
so.
That's where my mind goes, is Ace.
Cartmel. I think of Romana, especially Romana 2.
Yeah, I'd watch either adventures. Romana 2 actually more than one.
Horns and Imon. She's essentially the doctor. She's like got her own sonic screwdriver.
She has a sonic screwdriver.
She's got
she seems more doctory. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing when you think about that. We really had a female doctor years before we thought we did. With Romana in season 17 at times, she's running around with the scarf of destiny, and she's got the horns of Naimon. She's like taking a lead role. Yeah,
it's a bit of a stretch, but Clara is essentially the doctor, more or less, for a lot of her stuff. Kinda.
It tries to pass herself off as such.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the companions, apart from the Romana, because she's a Time Lord, like try to sort of be the doctor, but then they fail because they're just human and they overstep their bounds and they get someone killed, and then Clara has to die and then has to get rescued in the last breath of her life and flies around a diner with Arya Stark.
Captain Jack, because he's kind of like a Dr. Junior to begin with, and also he can rock the Six coat like nobody, including Six.
That's true, actually. He does look good in the coat, doesn't he? Captain Jack.
I think he pretty much looks good in anything, but somehow he pulls that coat off. So
yeah, some people like him to pull that coat off.
I'm sure they do.
Oh,
Adric?
Isn't that supposed to be my line?
No, Adric will survive the crash somehow and become a new version of the Master because of his hatred of the Doctor.
He is kind of clever. He's basically the nerd element with when you roll.
Yeah, nobody likes him. He's a rejected kid who becomes the evil Master.
Adric is the evil Master. Oh, here we go.
Well, the more evil Master.
Okay. Yeah. Who would be Nissa is actually quite clever and slightly dull.
That's true, yeah.
So she would be probably an efficient doctor.
Perfect fifth Doctor.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, no wonder
that's cold.
No wonder they get along so well. They're kind of, a little bit safe compared to
Turlo would make a good Capaldi-esque doctor, actually.
That would be interesting. Turlo was Capaldi-ish. I would see. I could totally
an older
see that.
Turlo.
Yeah.
How about Chameleon? He can be anybody he wanted.
He could be any doctor
but he
whatsoever.
Sucks.
And he's been the fifth Doctor very briefly, I think.
And the Master.
And Tegan and King John. So that could work.
And then whatever else they were going to do with him in the Awakening that they didn't.
Right.
I want to see the adventures of the Donna Doctor because she is part Doctor for a little bit.
That's true. Yeah, before her memories are completely robbed from her.
Where does Handy fit into all this?
He can go to hell, but Handles.
Handles. Thank you. I'd rather
Handles
have
would be horrible. See, Handles in that animated thing with Capaldi, that would be okay. Other than that, you have a static head on a pike, which would be boring as hell.
That depends.
Well, Tom
Baker wanted a cabbage on his shoulder. He could be the cabbage.
I think Handles was the cabbage. I think he was the homage to the cabbage all this time. It basically is what it was.
Handles riding K9, did you say?
Yeah, Handles riding K9.
Oh, yeah.
The best way for it. I think that's your perfect, like, basically K9 as the sort of the brains of the operation and indeed the mobility, and then Handles is the wit and the smarminess and the longevity because he lives for like 300 years. And there you go. So it's tough to make one person or entity at this case the Doctor, but you put Handles and K9 together and you've got it, basically.
And you've also got Sherlock and Watson. Or indeed any pairing you like.
Yeah. So you could talk, like K9 could always talk to Jago and Lightfoot. Any Holmesian duo you can think of, you have as a Doctor with Handles and K9. It's perfect sense.
Genius.